and will go to the line. And foul is on Natasha Cloud. It's going to be the third team foul on Chicago.
And so far, I love what they're doing with Caitlin Clark. They're putting her on the ball, but they're also allowing her to set away screens and get loose off of cuts, which allows her to get going downhill.
NASCAR returns to prime this win Monday over Washington. She responded after the missed free throws with a key assist and, of course, the three-pointer to win the ball game. But otherwise, a 90% foul shooter. Hit two there. Blitzing Gabriela Jaquez and picks up the foul.
This is an important possession for Chicago. They've had a few empty possessions. Drive by Skylar Diggins, couldn't get it to go. Rachel Banham had several good looks at three here, but you got to find a way to get a bucket right here as Indiana starts to pick up the pace.
Well, the Sky were scoring in their half-court offense off of post-up plays, with Cardozo going to the bench. They haven't run many sets to get their post look.
Cloud off the heel, back tap by Williams. Cloud on a reload, over to Stevens. Stevens left it short, rebound Timpson. This is Clark, too strong. And Stevens, they say last touch by Timpson, out of bounds. It'll be Chicago ball.
And in this lineup, I think Azurá Stevens has to be featured on the offensive end. Like, they've got to get her the ball in her spots and allow her to take advantage of her matchups.
Chicago has to find some offense. They've missed 11 straight shots and just had a turnover. Clark. Pocket pass. Timpson under the hoop. And no foul call. It's just going to remain Indiana ball.
And Timpson's activity is allowing Indiana's offense to play in the paint. She's just got to step up and finish those shots. This is a Timpson game, because she's active, she's long, she's athletic, and she's a great screen setter.
And she's been cutting with more intention through the lane.
Boston over to Harris. Harris with the finish. 13-point advantage for Indiana. Williams blocked by Boston. Nice look inside, and that snaps a streak of 12 straight misses for Chicago.
Good pass by Elizabeth Williams. Indiana fell asleep defensively there.
Good hands by Jaquez. Rookie out of UCLA forcing the turnover. Here is Jaquez. Quick trigger, no good. They are 1 for 9 from downtown. Clark, right to the rim.
And if you're Chicago, obviously Indiana is going to score the basketball. They score top 5 in the league. You're going to have to rely some on your defense, but your offense has to get you through some of these possessions, as it is a little stagnant. They need to move the ball from one side to the other.
Banham just had it snatched away by Boston. Took it around her back. Clark rifles a pass to Boston for 2. What a sequence. A 3-second difference between the shot and game clock. Cloud over to Jaquez, pump, drive. Jaquez finishes with the left. Harris now, 3 seconds. He's from half court, no good, but a dominant opening frame by Indiana. Caitlin learned about Aaliyah Boston in your time on the mic with her.
Is it post moves? Did I say that right?
It's
okay.
post move.
I got it right.
Yes, and you have to be in the post to be able to tune in as well as be a guest. No, but as Skylar Diggins gets to and one, Aaliyah Boston is continuing to evolve her game. And I think we saw that last year without Caitlin Clark having the ball in her hands at the top of key a lot more. And you're going to see that evolution of her knocking down threes and becoming that stretch 4. But she also, and I'm a constant big sister, she has to remember to stay in the paint. That's where her bread and butter is. And that's what's going to make her great.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that she's got her highest usage rate this year despite not scoring as much in the paint. But to your point, she is stretching the floor more. So.
And as a post player, your dream is to have a roster full of guards that teams have to go over on. Kelsey Mitchell, you have to go over. Caitlin Clark, you have to go over. They're going over on Ty Harris. So as a post player, you're able to take advantage of that through passing, also being active and rolling because your big has to help.
Foul was called on Cardoso. Harris sizing up J.C. Sheldon. On the move inside, pull up, Jay drops.
Ty Harris's game is so smooth. You know, she played a huge role in Dallas, in Connecticut, and she's just that steady point guard that you know is going to come in and not make mistakes.
Sheldon gave it up. Hawkins made the catch and is fouled by Kelsey Mitchell.
And right here, you can't teach poise. Taking her time, knowing that because of the space on the floor, because of the players she's playing with, Ty Harris is going to be able to get to her spots, and she does that and rises up with that pull-up with the best of them.
Yeah, she's starting to get comfortable in this offense, in her role. And she moves up a little bit in the rotation with Sophie Cunningham out, depending on what Stephanie White needs to do with rotations.
That's another turnover for Chicago as Cardoso in the lane, 3-second violation.
I think
6 turnovers.
How many 3 seconds violations on the offense and defense to start this game?
2 offensive 3 seconds, 1 defensive 3-second violation. He played 11 minutes. Hines Allen inside. Mitchell turns, scoops it in. That kind of get LaChina.
She is constantly cutting. She talks about the football workouts she does in the offseason, just planting and going and finding her explosiveness early. That is just tough to match up with anywhere on the floor.
Jaquez couldn't put that in. And here comes Hines Allen for Indiana, surveying the floor. There's a cutting Mitchell again. Deja vu. Timeout Chicago, a 33-16 lead.
And then right there, Hines Allen knocking it down with the nice on-the-money bounce pass. As a guard, you cut harder when you know you're going to get the ball. And I think Indiana, yes, you've seen that, them be able to play in transition and secondary, but they have 11 points off of Chicago's turnovers. So a lot of it has to do with the way they're defending on the other end.
And LaChina, going back to Kelsey Mitchell's cutting, she's averaging 9.3 paint points per game this season. That is a career high for her. But you have to respect her perimeter shooting, which makes her cutting so much more dangerous.
You do. We were just talking about the break, how you try to deny her on the perimeter because you don't really want her to catch it because she's so deadly there, and that's when she gets you with the back cut.
This is Koulibaly out there for the Sky. Hand off to Cloud. Veteran around a Cardoso screen. Back to Cardoso. Outside. Koulibaly didn't like the shot. Shot clock winding down, and it's a turnover.
See right there, you have to take that look. On the offensive end, you generate getting the ball in the paint, it coming out. You have to take that spot up three-point look. Otherwise, you see the result.
Koulibaly hesitating. She's 0 for 5 from three-point range this season.
And then sometimes it's about getting the right shooter in that spot too, Candace, right? Like knowing who needs to be on that diagonal kick out.
Mitchell. Hines Allen over to Clark. Clark on the baseline under the hoop. Puts it in.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark looks really good tonight. I've had several Indiana Fever games the last few weeks, and she has just got a different pep to her step. She's got her legs under her on her shot. She's moving well, finishing in the paint.
Out of bounds, Indiana ball. Clark, 12 points, 4 assists thus far.
Just attacking on the baseline, the reverse. I just think she looks springy, if you will, Candace.
And Coach White is moving her on the ball, and she's also moving her off the ball, which allows for her teammates to find her off of cuts to make things easier where Caitlin doesn't have to generate points for herself.
Koulibaly hustling for the rebound, finds Cloud. Here's Cloud racing down the lane. Cloud off the window.
And that's what Natasha Cloud has done her entire career. Coast to coast, she feeds off of transition offense.
Clark, no good. Rebound, Koulibaly. Sheldon.
Chicago is second to Indiana in pace, but we haven't seen them really pushing the ball as much as I thought they would in this game. I mean, sometimes you have to look to attack the rim instead of waiting for the set defense, especially when your half-court offense isn't working well.
Right here, this is what Chicago needs Natasha Cloud to do. Great defense leads to offense in transition. You're scoring before Indiana's defense is set, and you're right, LaChina. Chicago hasn't pushed the ball, but honestly, they've been taking the ball out of bounds a lot because Indiana is scoring in transition and really able to get back and set their defense so they're not able to play in that free space.
Sydney Taylor, rookie out of Louisville in the ball game for Chicago. Lacey Sheldon getting some boo birds here in the building. Of course, had that fight with Sophie Cunningham last season, and of course, long rivalry and battles with Caitlin Clark dating back to their Ohio State, Iowa days. Indiana 35, Chicago 20.
Chicago.
And Hull thought Billings was in the corner.
I love a junk zone. Right there, Chicago mixing it up, getting Indiana out of their fluid offense with their zone.
6:08 to go here in the first half. In the last 8 games, we had a good conversation with her earlier in shoot around, and LaChina, she's always honest, which we appreciate. She said she's never been a good loser, and the only constant that they've had with the Chicago squad since she arrived has been changed, and she's been trying to find a way to raise the floor here with the Sky.
Yeah, Skylar has always been a fierce competitor, and she is going to say exactly what's on her mind. And yeah, the injuries are well documented. I mean, they have not had a lot of consistency in their lineups. Obviously, Rakia Jackson going down was big for this team. In particular, she talked about some of the inconsistency in the veteran experience and needing some veteran voices to be on the floor. And they started to get healthy, but now it's about the identity. Foul call on the screen. I missed that. Is that what happened?
Natasha Cloud, the illegal screen. It looked like the best drawn-up play of the ball game for Chicago, but Sky with the illegal screen. This is Mitchell. Nice dump off. Hines Allen puts it in.
Indiana's offense right now is A to B. Chicago is not making them play off of just the first action. They've gotten how many looks on a guard to big in the lane. Chicago has to do a better job of loading up in the lane to prevent some of those layups.
Koulibaly, no. Cardoso puts it up and in.
And that's what it might take tonight. Second, third effort. Crashing the glass by any means, and then just no one home on the backside.
It's way too easy for Caitlin Clark inside. Indiana started 0 for 6 in the paint. They're 11 for 11 since. 17-point advantage for the Fever. Cloud the fadeaway.
That's just the toughness bucket. That is just a vet who knows that they need to stop the bleeding by any means necessary.
Her second field goal game. Mitchell on the move, toss out to Billings, extra pass to Hull.
And I stand corrected. Chicago makes the adjustment. Indiana continues to move the ball. Hines Allen playing that point forward role right now, and it's looking good for Indiana.
Nice finish inside. Sydney Taylor with the layup. Clark sends a pass over to Billings. Clark, pocket pass, Hall in the corner. New brings the offensive board out to Hines Allen. On the drive, toss out, Hall won't shoot. Gave it up to Clark. 5 on the shot clock. Clark driving, blocked by Koulibaly. Hall! Looking like Anunoby. sorry, San Antonio
Ouch.
fans.
Ouch, Grady.
Yeah, that hurt a lot of people.
It was reminiscent. And Cloud may have turned her ankle. Another turnover. Koulibaly has it and collides hard with Hall, and it's an offensive foul. And Koulibaly got the worst of it.
You call this, you got OG'd? Right there, Lexi Hull clearly tuned into the game last night.
And we're going to have a challenge. Tyler Marsh saying this should be a blocking foul on Lexi Hull. We'll take a timeout. 3:24 to go. Green light special here in Indy. Hitting proof for this one. Roy Gilbayan is our crew chief alongside Sarah Williams and Blanca Burns.
Yeah, I think because she was no longer a legal defender, because of that little turn at the end of the move. I agree. I think that may.
Yeah, she's still walking forward.
If overturned, it will be the second foul on Hull. Another look at it.
I mean, she's there and she's established, but
She does turn
a little
into her.
move into her may be what gets this. I mean, it was great position. I don't even think she needed to do that. That would have been a tough bucket to make without that move by Hull.
See the temptation sometimes when a player's trying to go to the Euro.
Yes. See, usually the officials come over and they'll tell us what they're looking for and kind of talk to us throughout the game. But I think Candace might have some history with these officials. They haven't been over here. They haven't been over to the table to talk to us at all.
No,
this is just not normal.
Unfortunately, I have a lot of history with referees, so there's probably going to be very few that come over and talk to us.
I mean, I'm just used to, you know,
Yeah,
little different
they're
interaction.
avoiding
They haven't been over here
But you know
tonight.
what? I've turned a leaf. You know, just turned 40. I'm about making changes, so I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna make sure that I right all my wrongs with all of the officials in the league.
Keep
We'll
an eye
see.
on Roy.
Oh,
Say,
they're
here
coming
comes
over.
Sarah. Here
Okay, they're
comes
coming
Sarah.
over. All right, Candace.
Well,
Okay, I take it back.
came up. See that look? So we did get an explanation. The call on the floor has been overturned. And so it is a foul on Lexi Hull, her second. And you guys are all over it. That's sliding there to her right. Lexi Hull picking up the blocking foul.
And if you're Chicago, you've got to end this half right to give yourself a chance going into this locker room. You got to try to get this within striking distance. Rely on your defense. Try to get some stops and see if you could get a couple buckets to go into halftime feeling better.
Indiana shooting 53% from the floor, and that should be it. It is a kickball.
And Chicago going back to that zone that they ran to start the second quarter, which has given Indiana a little bit of problems. I love a zone because it takes the ball out of your primary ball handler's hands, and it makes other players have to make decisions in the offense.
Hull partially blocked by Williams, and that ball is slapped out of bounds. Last touch by Indiana.
And any team that's trying to slow down Indiana's offense, you can't give them a heavy diet of the same defensive looks. Like, they're going to get comfortable. They're going to start to make adjustments. So I like the call by Tyler Marsh, and hopefully that continues. He continues to pepper that in.
Cloud. That was Taylor on the drive. Puts it up and in.
Beautiful.
The Rook with another play inside.
Really, really nice move.
Boston. Strong back down, fades away, left it short. Stevens, the offensive board. Stevens, right down the lane, dump off. Williams puts it in.
We've seen so many buddy passes. Azurá Stevens, we're seeing on display her versatility, rebounding, running, and finding her front court mate.
Chicago showing a little bit of life. Clark kept the pivot. Pass deflected and stolen. Cloud, pass ahead. Sheldon with the finish. finish.
And this is how the Sky have to play. Get stops on the defensive end and get out quick before Indiana sets their defense.
6 straight makes for the Sky. Clark got it back from Timpson. And an illegal screen on Timpson.
You see Taylor right there scoring over an extended Aaliyah Boston, and then right here Natasha Cloud. This is where she's at her best. Sheldon with a nice finish on the other side.
And that's how Chicago's been scoring. They've been driving the lane just like this.
Once again, timeout Indiana. And the Indiana lead is single digits. 9-0 run by the Sky.
Beaver fans, the best deal in sports is back. Lucas Oil Family Nights includes your ticket to the game, a Beaver hat, hot dog, cheese and crackers, and a drink. Not to mention your chance to shoot a post-game free throw on the court. With tickets starting at $32, you can bring the entire family. The next family night is Thursday, June 18th. Purchase your tickets today at BeaverMemberBasketball.com/family.
Stay tuned for the half presented by State Farm with Allie Clifton, Swin Cash, and Cynthia Cooper breaking down the first half of this one. And we have ourselves a game all of a sudden. Indiana led by 19, and their lead is now down to 9.
We talked about the paint attack, right, of the Chicago.
Taylor has come off the bench ready to play.
46-38, Indiana on top. Clark got it back from Timpson. And Boston battling inside with Williams. And Williams picks up the foul. First in the final 2 minutes on Chicago.
Well, you talk about bench mob. Natasha Cloud, spark plug, Taylor sizing them up. Sometimes the ball finds you with energy. And Taylor has come in, she's played hard, she's run the floor, and good things have happened.
Boston puts it up, well short. Timpson, the offensive board, didn't draw iron. Boston got to put it up quickly, and it's a shot clock violation. And Stevens and Boston exchanging words.
Two of Candace's young proteges, mentees, if you will.
Things getting a little spicy right now as Aaliyah Boston doesn't see the shot clock, a little extra after the play. I'm going to have to talk to her about that on post moves on Monday because she said she doesn't throw elbows. I don't know, LaShina.
Stevens won a championship with Candace in Chicago. Here's Sheldon right down the lane for 2.
It's a free-for-all right now off the drive.
A 14-2 run in the last 3 minutes for Chicago. 5-second difference between shot and game clock. And another offensive foul for Indiana.
Just a vet play right there by Natasha Cloud. The refs reward players that fight over screens, don't die on screens. Natasha Cloud is one of the best at getting through those screens up top.
Yeah, she's been a spark plug on both ends of the ball for the Sky right now.
Chicago shooting 73% in the second quarter. Sheldon. Indiana outscoring Chicago 27-14 in the first. Chicago outscoring Indiana 26-19 in the second. Stevens can't hit the tray to start the third quarter. And Boston with the box out. Boston, coast to coast herself, can't hit. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Cardoso.
What will be interesting to watch is the Chicago Sky was 1 for 9 from 3 in the first quarter. They only took 1 3-pointer in the second because they were intentional about getting in the paint, and obviously they weren't hitting from the outside, so they were taking the higher percentage shot. How do they treat the 3-point line in the second half?
Clark can't hit. Got her own one-hand pass to Boston.
And if you're Chicago, you're setting your defense, you're getting stops, and you're giving up offensive rebounds. They have to take care of the glass to be able to get out and run in transition.
They got on that run in the second quarter thanks to most of their reserves. Natasha Cloud and Sydney Taylor. There's Cardoso hitting inside, her third field goal of the ball game.
Cardoso using her size on that possession. Caitlin Clark doesn't get the three to go. Hustle play right there. Nice dime with the hustle play. And then Cardoso right here sealing an undersized Billings. Doing a good job of using her size. Cardoso has to on this end of the floor because Indiana's putting her in a lot of screen and roll. She's got to be up to touch and move those feet to stay in front of the guards.
One of those patented back cuts. Lexi Hull couldn't finish though. This is Diggins for three.
Yeah, Skylar Diggins was out here shooting early in that time period from the three-point line.
As we did not see her in the second quarter for Chicago Sky as Caitlin goes coast to coast. And Diggins staying on the bench in that second quarter because Natasha Cloud and Taylor were doing a good job of bringing the energy and the effort and pushing pace.
Jaquez over to Cardoso, tried to dump it off, fouled on the pass.
That was quite a catch because there was a lot of traffic there. Caitlin Clark just blowing by the D, getting right to the rim. Starting this third quarter with the energy we saw from her in the first quarter, she has just looked really good and spry this evening.
And another foul inside. Aaliyah Boston picking up that foul. That's going to be her third.
And Indiana does not want to go back to fouling as Indiana fouls more than any team in the league right here. Aaliyah, I'm sorry, fighting through that screen. That's a foul. So they have to do a better job to make Chicago earn the buckets and don't give them easy ones.
Stevens with the left it short. And knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Chicago. 14 on the shot clock.
Azurá Stevens with only 3 points in the first half, but she had 6 boards and 3 assists.
Here is Stevens right on cue. Bucket and the foul.
And Coach Marsh talked about Azurá Stevens right here. This back screen, great screen by Skylar Diggins to find Z for the possible and one, but Azuré's had to work her way back into this, right? She was injured to start the season, was on a minute restriction. So I think as the games and as the season progressed, you're gonna see her become more of what she was, especially for the Sky in her previous stint.
Yeah, because they're gonna need that version of her with Rickea Jackson out.
Stevens averaged a career high last season while playing with the Sparks. Boston, bully ball inside, count it, and put her on the line.
And Indiana is running every screen and roll between Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, especially with Cardoso guarding Aaliyah Boston on this play. A nice handoff, engages the big, allows Aaliyah to kind of play in that pocket position right there. She does the catch and the finish. I see the left hand, Aaliyah.
Well, and early in the game, Aaliyah wasn't cutting quickly enough to make it difficult for Cardoso to catch up with her. That time she goes right to the rim. There's nothing you can do about it.
Diggins. Stevens, good position, makes the catch. Can't hit under the hoop, but is fouled on the play.
Got to establish her. Azurá Stevens is a unicorn. At 6'6", she can do a little bit of everything. She's got a face-up game. You see her catching it down low, using her size advantage, using her wingspan. I just believe that Chicago needs to set that up more in their offense. But to your point, Candace, as she continues to get her stride after being out with injury, we'll see more.
WNBA On Prime is brought to you by 7th Generation, a powerful clean without any extra. And by AT&T, connecting changes everything.
And back to your point, LaChina, as Z gets more comfortable, you have to be active. Her at 6'6", she has to have energy in her cuts because it opens up things for herself, but also for the Chicago Sky offense.
Open runway, Skylar Diggins puts it in. We have a 1-point ball game. Boston pushing away inside, can't hit. Stevens the board. Up ahead to Sheldon. Sheldon to Diggins. Diggins inside. Foul. And the Sky, after trailing by 19, a chance to go ahead here.
And Skylar Diggins not settling for the catch and shoot three in transition, which is what we see in today's game in a 3-on-1. A lot of times you'll take that shot. Sky being able to get to the line because of her aggression.
And she's been one of the best guards in this league, scoring in the paint at her size. She has no fear when it comes to getting 2 feet in the lane and making a tough bucket.
First lead for Chicago since it was 7-6. Fever looking to respond. Clark through traffic, no whistle. Here comes Sheldon. Will set up the offense. Cardoso inside. Cardoso with the hoop. And a technical foul. Going against Caitlin Clark. There's no timeout. A technical foul going against Caitlin Clark.
See on this previous possession, getting to the hoop, and Caitlin Clark pumping her fists in the air. I've gotten a couple of those. That's definitely a technical, but the refs electing to not call it so that Chicago. Well, I think the Knicks put on full display. There's no lead that is safe anymore as they were down 29. How many of you all turned the game off? How many thought the game was over?
That was close.
But as a team, you know, you just got to get through quarters. You got to end quarters well, and you got to give yourself a chance going into the fourth. And I'm telling you, Chicago did so with their bench to end that first half.
And I kind of feel like Caitlin was trying to fire up her team, too, in that moment, you know, because the Sky was on a run, and they have stolen the momentum going back to the second quarter. So we'll see how the Fever responds.
Nice pocket pass. Boston lays it in.
And a well-executed play out of the timeout to get Boston a nice layup, cleared out the backside.
Diggins, and an offensive foul. It's going against Cardoso. 10th turnover of the ball game for Chicago.
Beautiful pocket pass there by Kelsey Mitchell. Ball screen action. And then Skylar Diggins. I don't know about that one.
Here's Indiana on the other end, trying to regain the lead. Mitchell, yes!
And if you're J.C. Sheldon, you can go under one time, possibly, but definitely not twice on a shooter like Kelsey Mitchell.
Loud back out there for Chicago, provided a spark in the second quarter. Skip pass over to Coulibaly, rims out, but she'll shoot two.
Kelsey Mitchell is a nightmare to guard. She can cut, she can do things with the ball in her hands. Sheldon going under on the first one, mistake. Double mistake going under on the second. And Kelsey Mitchell, she's gonna calm, cool, and collected step into that one.
WNBA athlete. Boston and Cardoso. Boston fouled by Cardoso, and that will be her fourth.
Right here, Indiana knows Cardoso has those 3 fouls. Allows Aaliyah Boston to go one-on-one. And Aaliyah, I love that she did not fade away in that possession. Took it to him, and that's why she's at the charity stripe.
Ty Harris in the game for Indiana. And next dead ball, Damiris Dantas, who has missed some time this season for personal reasons. She'll check in for Aaliyah Boston next dead ball.
And we saw the way that the Sky reacted when Cardozo went out in that first quarter. Indiana was able to impose their will, go on a run. Let's see what the Sky can do to counter those non-Cardozo moments.
Cloud, attack mode, lost it, scooped up by Coulibaly. In the lane, missed the layup, Boston clears. Clark with the handle. Clark, back to Boston. Boston, and it's an offensive foul. And a technical foul going against the Indiana bench. It may have been Stephanie White.
And Stephanie White said, call the first one. With a few other choice words, probably.
Fourth foul on Aaliyah Boston. Ooh. Well, Coulibaly sold it. Sheldon hits the technical free throw. Makes it 60-59. Two technical fouls on Indiana in this third quarter. Boston takes a seat with those 4 fouls. Cloud. And that pass too high for Elizabeth Williams.
The one thing I will say about those non-Camila Cardozo minutes is eventually it opened up more driving lanes for the guards for Chicago. So hopefully they keep that mentality as Taylor gets ready to check in.
Clark defended closely by Diggins. It's going to be the first foul on Diggins. 4th team foul on Chicago.
And to your point, LaChina, the Sky elected to just put their head down with straight line drives in that second quarter, and that's what got them back in this game.
Feed inside, Timpson the finish.
What a pass by Caitlin Clark.
7th assist for Clark. Diggins, no, dodges the board. Clark, spinning. Clark takes the contact, and it'll be 2 free throws for Caitlin Clark.
And I think some of the frustration from Indiana and those 2 technical fouls is Indiana's only been to the line. This will be their 10th time as Chicago has gotten their 17. As you see, Caitlin Clark coming off the screen and roll. You roll as a post player, she'll find you.
And put it right in Timpson's hands. I mean, that was a laser pass.
Indiana 10 for 10 at the free throw line tonight. 4 minutes to go here in the third. Cloud down the lane, kick out. Diggins for 3. Off the mark, tipped up and off by Taylor. Clark to Mitchell, over the head pass, Timpson the finish. Highlights. Timeout Chicago.
Mitchell and the Fever have responded with a run of their own here in the third.
Indiana with 16 assists in the ball game. Clark with 7 of them. And this is a Commissioner's Cup showdown. Indiana 2-1 thus far in Commissioner's Cup play. So they have the mindset of wanting to win and win big. Diggins. This is Taylor, averaging 7 on the season. She had 9 in the first half. She has 11 for the ball game.
Loves that banker on the left side.
It's been impressive. And whistle blows. Bob wants a challenge, feels that she was pushed into Caitlin Clark. Sky in the penalty.
Right here. Natasha Cloud kind of locking up underneath. Caitlin selling that a little bit to get to the line.
She's 6 for 6. And Cloud arguing her case. As Clark stays perfect. Indiana 68, Chicago 61. Taylor, 1-3, bottoms!
And sometimes when things aren't going good, they just keep going good. Taylor sizing up Caitlin Clark on an island on the weak side.
Yeah, she likes that matchup.
Mitchell to Dantes, straight on. Off the heel, Koulibaly the board. Taylor, no one home, down the lane with the finish.
Love her game. So smooth. This is my first time seeing her in person. But boy,
She
very
has
poised.
16. Mitchell can't answer. Long board to Diggins. Chicago can tie or take the lead. Timpson with the hands.
And again, especially as a young player, Taylor found herself with early minutes early in the season, had some great double-figure games. Didn't play a lot the last couple games. This is the way you get yourself back into the rotation.
Diggins reestablished herself and got the finish.
And now Taylor's showing that she's got gravity. How many defenders were floating right to her, left Skylar Diggins wide open?
Clark. Toss that over to Dantes. Dantes at the elbow. And she travels. Chicago showing some serious fight.
Going back to that play, Sydney Taylor had 2 defenders coming her way because she's just been so potent on the offensive end. You've got to start to gravitate towards her defensively.
She scored or assisted on the last 9 for Chicago. Takes a bump. And Taylor will go to the line for 2.
And again, Chicago are setting guard-to-guard screens to keep Caitlin Clark in action. That backside of the Indiana Fever defense has to come over. Taylor, seeing a lane, she's gonna take it.
Taylor, undrafted, out of Louisville. She played the last couple of years professionally in Poland and Lithuania. And she may have found a home in Chicago. She has 18 points. Chicago by 2. Raven Johnson. Mitchell. Over to Johnson. Sets up Dantes. Poke away by Williams. Johnson chases it down, but the shot clock is to 3. Johnson to Dantes. Can't control it. It's a shot clock violation.
Excellent defense there. Disruptive activity. That's what you want to see.
Cloud. Over to Taylor. Taylor going to work. The cross. Taylor, put it in. Have a night.
They changed the matchup. Same result. That time on Raven Johnson.
11-2 Chicago run. Dantes puts it in. And there may be a clock issue. Roy Gobain stopping play.
Right here, Raven Johnson inserted to defend the hot player, as Dirk likes to say, hot player. Taylor just showing a little bit of everything. 3-level scorer, 8 for 9 efficient. Playing defense on the defensive end. She is having a game.
Taylor fouled on the pass, and Taylor will go to the line with Indiana in the penalty with 50.7 on the third quarter game clock.
And your question has to be, how many perimeter defenders do you have to spread out between Sydney Taylor, Skylar Diggins, and Natasha Cloud? Because at any given moment, any of the three of them can get to the rim.
Well, I think you focus on the hot player right now. They are running every action for Taylor coming off. Somebody has to step up, even team defense, to take the challenge. Indiana had to go zone late in that second quarter to get out of the half because their individual one-on-one defense was just not there.
This is Mitchell, drains the trifecta. And call it a long two. She has 13 points.
44.4, is that right?
And again, you have to be disciplined. It's easier said than done on Kelsey Mitchell. Sometimes it's an easier, shorter route to go under, to shoot the gap. You have to stay connected because she can stop on a dime and make those threes.
Chicago by 2. Diggins. Inside, Williams finds Koulibaly, cut off by Dantes. Taylor! Cash!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
She's too shy of her career high. Mitchell over to Timpson. Outside look. Dantes can't answer. Rebound, Koulibaly. 10 seconds. Koulibaly down the lane. Fouled.
Sydney Taylor. I mean, what's hotter than a heater? Whatever that is, that's what she's on.
She's an air fryer tonight.
And I got down that she's from New York. She might have been up late last night.
Long Island, New York.
Inspired.
24 years young.
Yeah, air fryer's crazy though. I just want to say that before we move on.
So we talking about hot grease right now? Right. Oh, you said air fryer, the healthier way. Okay. Okay.
One more for Koulibaly. 7.1. The lead is 7 for Chicago. Mitchell. Deflected by who else? Taylor. Down the lane. Oh, didn't get it off in time. It's View. Clark fouled on the drive. So instead of 79-72, it's 79-73 here at the start of the fourth.
And that's not smart by Camila Cardozo. To reach down and try to get a hand in that situation, knowing that you've got 4 fouls and now 5.
And Elizabeth Williams comes directly to the scorer's table.
I was a bit surprised to see Cardozo out there this early in the quarter, knowing that she does have 4 fouls, and the game usually slows down to end the fourth quarter. So obviously she's going to be sitting for a little bit, and they're going to need her to come back in ready to play.
It'll be interesting to see how Tyler Marsh manages minutes here in the fourth. Sydney Taylor has been outstanding, is out there right now. Skylar Diggins on the bench, and again, Cardozo is sitting with those 5 fouls. Here is Taylor. Working on Hall. Tried to pass it over to Hawkins, too high. Here comes Indiana. Clark, the floater, foul. Clark with 22. And employee number 22 with her first 20-point game since May 22nd.
And sometimes when you see the way that the refs are calling the game, you take a page out of the other team's book. And Caitlin putting her head down, knowing that she can seek contact and get to the free throw line.
She has not at the line tonight, 11 for 11.
And on this end, I'm curious to see how Sydney Taylor responds to the matchup with Lexi Hull. Hull is 6'2", gives you a little more size defensively, and she gave her trouble on that last possession.
Jaquez on the baseline. Step throw, fouled by Clark. It's going to be the third foul on Caitlin Clark.
In Indiana, they are hedging screens. Any screen that Natasha Cloud is coming off of, they're hedging. So there's 2 on the ball. Cloud getting the ball out pretty fast, which allows Jaquez to take advantage of that one-on-one closeout.
Again, this is a Commissioner's Cup showdown. First meeting of the regular season between these two teams. Chicago essentially out of it with a 1-3 Commissioner's Cup record. Indiana 2-1, so this game very important for them. Boston battling with Williams. Boston had it blocked by Williams.
Elizabeth Williams is a formidable defender. I mean, she is one of the best that I've seen in the post. The way she's able to defend, and that was an example.
It was all defensive first team in 2020. Here's Stevens. Puts it up, and just not enough on it. Hall. The midi.
So dependable is Lexi Hull. She hit a couple buckets late in that Mystics game that went on the road that were so important for the Fever.
Stevens off the mark. Stevens has been struggling from long range this season. She's 0 for 4 tonight. Clark got space. In and out. Hold the offensive board. Clark driving. Oh, beautiful feed. Boston put it in. Diggins over to Taylor. Shadowed by Hull. Step back Trey. Off the mark. Rebound Hines Allen.
And I would have liked to see Taylor put her head down right there, get to the paint, because good things have happened.
Clark. Boston now pushing inside, and that's a high elbow. Offensive foul on Boston, and that is her 5th.
I don't know about that one, LaChina.
I was gonna say, Candace, what kind of conversation you gonna have with Aaliyah
about that one right here? Oh, no, that's a play
That
on.
wasn't that high an elbow.
That's a
and there
play
is the
on.
challenge.
They have to challenge that one.
Indiana's challenging the call.
Looking forward to that next episode of Post Moves.
Right
And
here.
I'm with you on this.
That's a
Foul on the play after the replay. Count the bucket for AB, and most importantly, she does not pick up her 5th foul.
And I think that's why Indiana had to challenge that play. You don't want Aaliyah catching or picking up her 5th foul, but again, that's a play on, right? That's a strong post move. That it's not a high elbow. I definitely think that that was a great, strong move by Aaliyah Boston.
Indiana has outscored Chicago 10-2 here in the 4th. Diggins from the elbow, good.
And that's how you want your team to respond out of the timeout. If you're Tyler Marsh, this team looks so different. They looked great against Atlanta despite losing. And you can feel that confidence and momentum bleeding over, but they just look so solid tonight and responding well.
And it was in this moment of the game, LaChina, where Chicago struggled in the 4th quarter, just couldn't execute a game that was winnable for them. We'll see what happens tonight in this matchup with rival Indiana.
Well, after Rakia Jackson went down, who's your go-to player in these type of minutes? And, you know, I think the ball's got to be in Skylar Diggins' hands, and she's got to make plays for others to be set up to be successful.
Selden. And just out of reach of Diggins. Just an unforced error there. And the 13th turnover of the ball game for Chicago.
Now Cloud comes into the game, so Skylar can play a little bit off, and that's just a few inches away from J.C. Sheldon.
Clark. Now Boston got it back to Clark. Can't hit the three. Battle for the board. Boston comes out of there with it. Clark. Out to Boston. Shot clock winding down. Boston. Short. Rebound. Boston. Backing down Stevens. Boston. Count it. And put her on the line.
Aaliyah Boston is playing on another level right now. Just using her strength. Look at the touch. Fading away. And she knows that she got that second life after that call was overturned. And she's making the most of it.
Cardoso back into the ball game for Elizabeth Williams. Cardoso with those 5 fouls.
But you kind of have to, right? With the way Boston is playing right now.
I think this might be a little early for Cardoso, as they were going at her in every pick and roll before she picked up the fouls. So we'll see how she fares with staying in this game, because they need her in this ball game late.
Cardoso. It finds Sheldon. Stevens into Cardoso. Cardoso blocked by Boston. Out of bounds. 0.3 of a second on the clock.
Right here, Cardoso, good position, just cannot finish over the length of Boston.
Again, 0.3 of a second on the shot clock for Chicago.
It's got to be a quick catch and shoot or a tip in.
Toss up and it's thrown away. Indiana off to the races. Hines Allen! The Indiana lead is 5. Cardoso over to Stevens. Chicago needs a bucket. Stevens right on cue.
And those are the things that Azurá Stevens can do. With the ball on the floor, make something out of nothing.
Clark nearly had it poked away.
But then Chicago comes down, they don't get their defense set the way they want. You got to sprint back against this Fever offense.
Hines Allen can't hit from point blank. And Cardoso couldn't save it.
Right here, the worst thing that can happen when your offense is flat is to turn the ball over. Hines Allen getting out, making an impact in this game, as she's a +19, and then Azurá Stevens, 6'6", can put the ball on the floor. Gets a nice little basket.
Hines Allen outside. Oh, no. Rebound. Chase for it. And this is going against Chicago.
Foul on 0. J.C. Sheldon.
J.C. Sheldon picking up the foul. Tyler Morris trying to determine whether or not to challenge, and he will not. That's the 4th team foul on the Sky.
Right here, I don't see much of anything on that play.
Might have been worth challenging. Instead, Indiana with the rock. We've got a clutch game here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Mitchell outside, extra pass. Oh, no. Rebound secured by Sheldon.
And the guards are going to have to pinch in and help on the glass. Aaliyah Boston is rebounding way out of position right now. She's all over the place.
Diggins, good! She won a state championship as a high schooler in this building. She pulls the Sky to within 1. Clark, beautiful feed. Boston can't finish. Pass ahead. Sheldon, swatted! Hines Allen sent that to Noblesville.
Right here, chase down block. Sheldon trying to get her steps right. Hines Allen. We talk about a spark plug coming off the bench. Energy, effort, activity, you name it, she's brought it today.
Crowd coming alive in this one-point ball game. We got an infection control timeout.
And they needed it because everyone was gassed. Like this time right now that they're taking, everyone was exhausted. They needed it.
You see no Sophie Cunningham for Indiana. She's in street clothes, a sore elbow, so out as a precaution.
And this is what you start to do as a player when you need more time to rest. You find more spots that need to be cleaned up. Candace, you know you did that. That's fine.
I was the queen of the vet extra moment. Line drills, you know, my shoelace is untied. You got to do all those things to get a couple extra seconds of rest. Especially at a pace like this. This game is going up and down in the second half.
Cloud to work it in. Diggins. Got a Cardoso screen, rises, can't hit, hold the board, and a loose ball foul going against Chicago. And it's on Cardoso, and her night is over.
Candace, you were right. Tyler Marsh put her in position to see if she could handle playing with 5 fouls, and this is just unnecessary. You're out of position. She grabs her right on the arm.
But this is just the growth that you're needing in your second year, to understand when you're out of position, being on the floor, availability is way higher than that possession for your team.
And she is just trying to get the possession. Like, she wants to rebound, and you want to see her with that kind of hunger, but you also have to play smart.
So it not only puts Cardoso on the bench, it puts Chicago in the penalty as Lexi Hull goes to the line. Indiana 18 for 18 at the charity stripe. One more for Hull. For 19 at the free throw line for Indiana. Indiana 90, Chicago 87. Diggins inside, Williams puts it in.
Skylar Diggins has been going to work. That time, nice delivery to Elizabeth Williams, and you called it, Candace. They've got to work through Skylar. She's got the pull-up cooking. She's dialed in.
Clark to the rack. Sheldon over to Cloud. Approaching 3 minutes to go in regulation. Cloud. Going in Hines Allen. Outside. Jaquez. No. Offensive board to Cloud. Jaquez cut off. Puts it up and off. Rebound Hines Allen.
And Jaquez has got to kick that out and restart the offense. That's a key possession in this game to back in this.
Clark picks up the dribble. Inside, Boston puts it through.
And did you see the eyebrows that Caitlin Clark gave Aaliyah Boston? Aaliyah Boston chilling on the perimeter with Jaquez on her. Went to the paint.
Sydney Taylor waiting patiently to check back into the ball game for Chicago. Nice feed, Williams blew the layup. Indiana looking for a backbreaker. Clark into Boston, and Boston travels.